Hello everybody, and thanks for tuning back in to Joe and Zach Survival. So this next project series is going to be fixing up both of these snowmobiles and that Honda generator. So the story behind these snowmobiles is my dad got both of them many years ago, and he hasn't really used them. So I was talking with him, and he said he'd like to get one of them running. I believe he's going to use it maybe around his property and possibly for the winter trip. And then also, if I get the one running, I can take the other one and get it running for myself. So we're going to work on getting this one to the right yanked out of here because I believe that's the one he wants. And then also, the Honda generator he had brought in for service a few years ago, and he said that when he got it back, the choke cable wasn't working right, and it just wasn't running right. So he said they had put a new carb on it, but who knows. So we're gonna get that yanked out and get that cable hooked back up and get it running again for him, because that's his kind of go-to, and it's a really nice generator. Alright. Here it is in all of its glory. So at least he put the stand under it, so at least the track isn't, hopefully the track's pretty good, it's not rotten. This aluminum slide piece here, it has a crack on it. So I got a guy lined up to weld that out, fix it up. I don't have an aluminum TIG welder, but one of the buddies from work does, so we have that all lined up, and this is the one that he would like, Polaris. And the reason he wants this one over the other one here is because this one is easier to pull over. So that's kind of a right here. So that's kind of a, I guess, a big thing. That one pulls over pretty hard, but he wants something that's relatively easy, because I think he also might have my grandpa take it for a ride. Maybe my grandpa will go up for the winter trip this year, and that'd be kind of nice to have something that my grandpa can pull start as well. So just trying to see the condition. I'm sure that there is a mouse nest in here somewhere, and all sorts of critters, but we'll get her all pressure washed and cleaned up. And yeah, let's take a peek under the hood here. There we go. So there we go. Yeah, she definitely needs a little bit of a pressure wash. There's the nest. I knew that it would have a nest somewhere. So we got that. We got our simple little, well, it's a 2-stroke, 2-cylinder motor. Dad did say he tried to pull it over. It feels like it's pretty froze, but look at the golf ball in there. That's kind of an interesting. But he said it feels a little bit like it's frozen up, so we'll get those spark plugs off and put some oil down those holes. That'll be kind of our first thing. Before I bring it in to get welded, it'll have to probably run. So to get this thing out, I have a tow strap hooked up to the corner post in the back of the barn, and my come along, and I'm going to yank it backwards that way, and then I'll pivot the front and drag it up that way. So hopefully I can drag it back far enough to get it to line up nicely with the trailer, and then we'll go from there. So my current issue is the post can't handle that weight. So it was creaking a little bit, then it's kind of popped once, and I'm not gonna rip that post off. Machine's pretty heavy. So these are safety straps, and they keep the ramps from kicking off the back. And I used to not be a firm believer of them until I had another set of ramps, and Sam was helping me load up a moped, and the ramp kicked out, and the moped fell to the side and got Sam right in the leg, black and blue. And ever since then, I've been a firm believer of the safety straps, because they do work, and I've seen what can happen if you don't use them. Alright, we got the tow strap all set up with the come along, and I'm just pulling on the one ski because the bumper bar in the front is attached to the hood, and I don't think there's a ton of strength there, so I'm just going to try to pull it up by one ski. Set you guys down here and let's see what happens. Okay, we got quite the program going here. The ramps have pulled up, but the safety straps have caught them. And I put this this is locust, put that chunk in there, hoping that it would lift these up enough, and I can maybe slide the ramps back, but we're not there yet. So I'm just gonna keep cranking it because it started moving again. So I mean, if I can just get it up here all the way, that'd be nice. One thing about being at my dad's is there's never a shortage of lumber I can try to use. Looks like a good 4x4, so I'm just going to use this chunk of some sort of wood to kind of protect that 4x4. Worried about the ratchet strap. That's what was holding it down. Ramps work pretty good. You can see the destruction on them, but that's what they're there for. I think we're about home free now. How's this one? This one's even worse. Because this one got all torqued up. We're gonna have to work this one out. Come on. There we go. So here's what this one looks like. Just took a whole chunk out of all of them. That's what it's there for, though. I actually want to upgrade my trailer to a 5x8 with a gate on the back, because this is the type of issues that I notice with These little aluminum ramps, it's just not the same. This trailer sits up a little too high for stuff like this, so we'll get there eventually. But anyways, let's continue on here and get this thing pulled up. We have it all loaded up. We got the stand on the front, and by moving the back end of the snowmobile, we had just enough room for that generator. So we are ready to go. I just have to load up those ramps that are standing up back there. Once we get this home, it's going to get pressure washed. Same with that generator, just pressure washed really good. And just better to work on stuff when it's clean. So yeah, we'll see if we can get this thing running. It looks in rough shape, but sometimes the roughest things actually you can get running real nice, and sometimes the nicest things you can't get running at all. So time will tell, but let's get everything going here and head on home. Okay, we are home, and only one casualty, which was one of these really nice lights that the subscriber Mark bought me, and they're actually the longest lasting light I've had on this trailer, the set of them. So dang, those ones lasted over a year. Normally I go through 2 or 3 pairs a year just because of this exact reason. I just back into everything or moving it around by hand and it catches, and it's just kind of a design flaw of this trailer here. But this time it caught the trailer over here, this little one. Just nailed it, busted it right up. So I think I'm gonna yank that Honda one off and then just take my leaf blower quick and blow out the rest of the crud that didn't fly off as we were driving. So we made her though. Nice. Okay, I went through and I just used a leaf blower and I got out a lot of the, oh, it's loud. Got out a lot of the gunk that was sitting in here. And then, like my dad said, that the pistons, when he tried to pull it over, it just wouldn't pull over very well, if at all. It was kind of froze up. So I put some oil down in there to just maybe work on getting that kind of taken care of. So we got a lot of work to do. This air cleaner box, I believe, is probably packed with stuff. And then here's the pull start. Yeah, she's pretty froze up. So I'm thinking I can get some sort of wrench or something on this end and possibly right there and possibly free it up. But I just wanted to get it kind of blown out, and we'll worry about the rest of it later. But okay, first up is this Honda 3000. My dad said he brought it in for service. They put a new carb on it. The choke lever is not working, which I believe because it pulls way too far out. And I don't even know if he said it ran. But what I can tell you is normally this would have an electric start feature. The battery must be dead, and it probably hasn't ran in a really long time. So I believe behind this is the carb. So let's just take a peek. It's just a flathead screwdriver. Bingo. So let's just take a peek at what we got going on. And right away I can see the main issue with the choke lever here is it is just not there. So now the choke lever, if I pull it, yeah, it chokes it out. Beautiful. So that's one issue. Okay, got the blurriness fixed. So now what I would like to do is take off this cover, because behind this cover there's the battery. I'm going to take off that cover, we're going to get that battery looked at, and then also I want to check the oil, and the oil is right up here in the front, because these do have a low oil shutoff, and if they're doing service on it, you just never know if there's oil. That does not look good. I don't think there's much oil in this thing. It smells pretty old too. So let's leave that out. And I'm going to pour a little bit of oil in here, because I believe, judging from this, it should be filled all the way up, and it's not. So we're going to put a bunch of oil in here, and then just for fun here, how does this thing sound? Because these things have a distinct sound when you pull them over. Oh. Oh, okay. We're going to put some oil in here, and then we're going to pop this cover off, and we're going to find that battery, and it has a little bit of gas in it. I smelt the gas. It actually smells pretty good. I think there's probably 91 put in here. So we might be able to run some of that. It's not full, but it does have gas. It smells pretty good, surprisingly. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna take this cover off, and then I'm gonna jump it after I put gas or oil in it. I can kind of screw it in there, and then it says it just takes 10W30. So don't be alarmed. This is actually fresh. It just looks dirty. The outside looks dirty. Okay, let's see if we go like this. Beautiful. That was quick. Right here's our battery. So hopefully you can see that. Battery, got some cooling fins, got some sawdust. Very nice. Let's let me grab a battery and some cables, and we'll try to jump this. Come on. It does not sound like it used to. And there it is. Maybe it's behind this cover. What's this? Probably is just right here, and I just ripped half half the cover off for no good reason. I guarantee that's what we're about to see. Yep, nailed it. Okay, so there's a spark plug boot. First analysis, it has some wear to it. It's kind of ripped, but let's get a spark plug socket down that hole and see. We'll pull it off, see if we get spark, see what's going on. Here is our spark plug. Looks a little bit oily. Definitely old gas. That don't sound bad. That gas is rancid. Definitely old gas. Okay, so what I'm going to do now though is just check the spark. So you put it back in the boot. Don't touch it, but put it against a chunk of metal. And I can show you guys that. So look, I'll turn it sideways. Look right here. What you do is you put it on the boot, you ground it out. Don't touch this because you'll get a shock like you've never had. So we got a bunch of spark. So that rules out one of the three, right? Fuel, air, spark. We know we're getting air because this air filter looks fantastic. There's no mouse nests in it. We know we're getting spark, so it's only bad fuel. Okay, we got you back down low. So I was able to crack this here, and that's actually for this little bottom tube. So if I'm lucky, what I'm going to actually do is just reroute this quick. There we go. So maybe I can drain this out, and we'll see what quality the gas might be. There it is. It's green. Oh, that is disgusting. Oh, look at that. You know, green fuel is the worst type. That is completely horrible. And alright, I apologize. Things got way out of hand here. So what we have going on, the reason why this happened was I called to have my sprinklers blown out a few days ago because tonight it's like 20 something degrees and they haven't come out yet. It's paid for, but they haven't been out yet because they're so busy. So tonight they're like sending me messages like, yo, you gotta go out and turn your valve off, yeah, yada yada. He's like, if something, a valve goes, if you turn off those two valves, anything that bursts will cover. So I was out here like, I had to use a torch to heat my valve up to turn it off and everything else. But we got it all figured out. But while that was happening, this was draining, so we kind of lost track of time. So I have it smells pretty fresh though, like I'm not gonna lie, this gas doesn't smell that bad now. The green stuff in the beginning, that's definitely the stuff that wouldn't run, but I'm kind of tempted to drag this over a little bit towards the door and see if I can't start it up now. We have drugged this thing 3 feet away from that giant puddle of fuel. I'm gonna try it. So we got choke on. At least we got something. Okay, just for precautionary measures, this thing does have like fuel in the bottom of it, so I'm going to drag it all the way over. Because if it starts on fire, I really don't want that in my garage. Okay. So it's running, but it's only running on full choke. But I smell the exhaust, and it smells so terrible, like horrible gas. So we're going to drain the rest of that nasty gas out and fill it up with some fresh stuff, and I think that's going to be the ticket. So it's been running for a few minutes now, and the choke is off. It still is kind of drifting around, but it's doing pretty good. Okay, so I kind of use the incline off the garage here, and I got my little catch pan in there, so no worries. But I'm gonna let that drain out. There's not that much gas left in there. We'll get that all drained out, and then tomorrow we're going to be going out and about, so I'll have to grab a gallon of, or I think I got a 2-gallon can here of some gas. I think that's all that this thing is going to need. Alright, so we got the carb taken off. I did it earlier today, and it was nasty. It was just pure green. I'll actually put a picture in right now of what it looked like, because it was disgusting inside of this bowl. Yeah, pretty gross inside of here. So I pulled the whole thing off after seeing that, and I'm surprised that we got this thing to run at all. Okay, so this is our little wire. And like I said, in here there's actually a little hole you can run this through. You can see that. I know it's probably a little off focus. What I'm going to do is just work this thing through. You can have just a tiny little obstruction in there and it can give you quite the headache. And then I'm going to take a drill bit. It's close. See, I'm just matching it up to the size on the front here. There we go. You kind of got to be careful if you get like a really sharp drill bit, because it can actually kind of, if you have some really small drill bits, you can actually use them through the tiny little hole, but just going to clean this out. It's like some blue stuff floating around in there. Oof. Alright, got this thing cleaned up pretty good. I don't see any large debris in here that'll obstruct it. Still a little green, but I think that's going to just be how it is. Once we run some gas through this thing, it's going to be fantastic. So, not enough, no chunks of green like it was before. Give her a wipe out. This is actually amazing. You can see the what I call gassed. Maybe you can see in there, but it's just kind of discolored, if you will. Get this back on there, and I've got to think of the orientation. Sits like this, so this goes this way. There we go. Okay, we got the carb put back on. I'm gonna get this side panel put on, and with that I'll have to put on the door, but I'm going to leave the back side open because my dad said he does want me to change out this battery, and I have to just order one off of Amazon. So I'm gonna leave this side open, but I'm gonna put on all these other panels just because it doesn't really I think we just solved this whole thing's problem. So that'll be enough. It's I don't know, just a tiny bit. I know what I did wrong. I didn't plug in the electronics. I didn't plug in that electronic thing. Oh man, it's way in the back. And here it is. A little electronic piece. Oh. Shouldn't need the choke. My dad had said that this thing under a heavy load would bog down and die. So I got a skill saw here. I think that was actually his suggestion. Turn the gas off and let it just run it out, and awesome. So tomorrow I'm going to do a real test and have it running while hooking up a 1500 watt heater, but I really do think that this thing seems to be running really nice. Alright, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay everyone, so we ran the generator for about 4 hours and we put the 1500 watt heater on there. The whole time it was under load and it ran fantastic. So that's really good news. I wanted to also say that my dad ordered the battery and it will be here early next week. It's coming in the mail. So rather than wait until this project is completely buttoned up to upload it to you guys, I want to get it uploaded as soon as possible. So with that being said, I'll start it. We'll run the heater for a second so you guys can hear it under load. But then also I wanted to say that the next project is the Snowmobile. So I'll kick back to this during the Snowmobile project and just show you guys when it's all finished. But I wanted to get this video up because once I start working on that Snowmobile, I'm probably going to be doing late night live streams when I get home from work. I work evenings, so I don't get home till 1:30, so I'll be live streaming at like 2 in the morning. But some of you guys might be able to watch that and might find it really interesting. So this was kind of the introduction to that, and yeah, let's get this thing started. It hasn't ran all day. I ran it yesterday. So let's just see how easy it starts, and then we'll run the heater for a minute, and that'll be kind of the end of it. So we got the choke on.